agenda as Republicans look to regain control of the House of Representatives, perhaps even the Senate as well. Here to discuss, Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi of Illinois. He's a member of the House Select Committee on the House Select Subcommittee on the coronavirus. Congressman, good to see you. So let's start with the pandemic, because the Omicron variant, as you know, is tearing through the country. It seems as if the administration thought they could simply vaccinate our way out of the pandemic without paying sufficient attention to testing. In retrospect, was that a mistake?
Well, I think that perhaps there could have been testing supplies sooner, but I think that this move to provide 500 million tests to the American people is vital. Testing is a problem. My own parents, who are about to engage in travel, had to travel an hour and a half yesterday to get tested. And so these at-home tests will help, especially as a lot of my constituents are concerned about keeping the schools open and getting the little ones tested to make sure that they can go back to school safely.
Right. But I mean, look, this is a country of what, 340 million people, 500 million tests, at-home tests. It's good. It's just a start, though, right? I mean, we need billions and billions of tests in order for us to continue to monitor the virus, to keep schools open, to keep businesses open. Don't we need much, much more?
Yes, and I think that testing will ramp up. Just as, remember, a year ago, we were nowhere with the number of vaccinations that had happened. But as you saw over the course of the year, almost 70% of Americans have received their first shot, although we need to get more people tested, especially, again, those young ones who are eligible to be tested but haven't been, because we have to keep those schools open.
Illinois is seeing a significant rise in hospitalizations in the last several weeks. You represent an area just outside Chicago. Earlier this week, I spoke with a Chicago pediatrician about what he is seeing when it comes to kids coming into the emergency room. Listen to just part of what he told me.
During our peak, we were seeing maybe 20 hospitalizations a week. We've seen 40 in the past week. We were only seeing about 6 a week during the Delta surge.
A lot of these kids, almost all of them, are not vaccinated. Some of them because they're under 5 and can't get vaccines. They haven't been approved of. What needs to be done to combat this?
First of all, those kids have to get vaccinated, and I encourage those parents. You know, you might have your own qualms about getting yourself vaccinated, but remember, the data shows that someone who is unvaccinated is 10 times more likely to be hospitalized. And so getting these kids vaccinated is especially important if we want to keep the schools open. There's one other thing I want to say on this, which is not only do we have to get these kids and others who are unvaccinated vaccinated, but we need to embark on a much more aggressive global vaccination program right now. This is something that people like me and Senator Markey have been pushing for months. And 3 of my relatives died in India because of Delta. And I said at the time that if we didn't pass my legislation, NOVID, it's a no more COVID legislation, that we would see Delta come here, which it did. Then we see Omicron, and we're going to see more Greek lettered variants arrive as well if we don't get our act together and get other countries vaccinated right now.
Congressman, you keep talking about the need to keep schools open, and as a parent and as a citizen and as somebody who follows the science and has seen what closing schools did to kids emotionally, psychologically, et cetera, I agree with you. Teachers unions in Chicago seem willing to strike over this issue, right? They don't want the schools to open.
Well, I think that what they want is a safe school place for both teachers and students to learn. But for that to happen, again, we need to get testing into the schools. We need to get those young people vaccinated. Of course, we have to make sure all school teachers and staff are vaccinated. I fervently believe we must keep our schools open. We've seen that by closing them, we keep a lot of parents home, we keep kids at home not learning, and they see huge deficits in terms of their educational progress, and we don't want to repeat that.
We only have a little time left. Let's turn to the president's domestic agenda, because there's a lot of frustration within the Democratic Party that the president's signature failed to sign the Build Back Better Act. How critical is it to Democrat success in November 2022 that you pass that bill?
I think it's important that we at least pass whatever components we can through Congress and get them signed into law. Joe Manchin, after that Fox News interview, went on West Virginia radio and said he supports many components of Build Back Better. So now, just as we talk about BBB, I think we should talk about GGG, get governance going again. Pass universal pre-K, which, by the way, he signed into law as governor of West Virginia when he was governor. We need to pass those child care supports, as well as climate change provisions that he would support. If we do that, we make our own luck and increase the chances of doing better in the midterms and delivering for the American people.
Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, thank you so much. Best of luck to you in 2022 and Happy New Year.
Thank you so much, and same to you.